Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, let's do it right after the Arti.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you.
Shri Krishna Satchidananda Guru Krishna Hare Krishna. Jai. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for all the pujas you've done and the songs and the slokams.
Well, thank you for coming to the temple and being such a good devotee. Thank you. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yeah. Are you going to come to the Ananda Mela?
Yes. Haribol. Jayu Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Bhavabhaya Kandana Jayo He Jaya Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Bhavabhaya Kandana Jayo He Jaya Hari Kirtana Nartana Vartana Kalimala Kartana Jayo He Jaya Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Bhavabhaya Kandana Jayo He Jaya Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Bhavabhaya Kandana Jayo He Jaya Hari Kirtana Nartana Vartana Kalimala Kartana Jayo He Ayana Purandara Vishwarupa Snehadara Vishwambara Vishvera Kayana Jnana Purandara Vishwarupa Snehadara Vishwambara Vishvera Gayana. Jaya Lakshmi Priya Vishwambara Priya Hiya Jaya Priya Kinkara Ishana. Jaya Lakshmi Vishnu Priya Vishwambara Priya Hiya Jaya Priya Kinkara Isana. Jaya Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Bhava Bhaya Kandana Jayo He. Jayo Hari Kirtana Nartana Vartana Kalimala Kartana Jayo He. Shishita Advaita Rai Malini Shiva Sajai Jaya Chandra Shekhara Acharya. Shishita Advaita Rai Malini Shiva Sajai Jaya Chandra Shekhara Acharya. Jaya Nityananda Rai Gadadhar Jai Jai Jaya Haridasa Namacharya. Jaya Nityananda Rai Gadadhara Jaya 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 Haridasa Namacharya. Jaya Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Bhava Bhaya Kandana Jayo He. Jaya Hari Kirtana Nartana Vartana Kalimala Kartana Jayo He. Murari Mukunda Jai Premanidhi Mahasaya Jaya Jata Prabhu Parisada. Murari Mukunda Jaya Premanidhi Mahasaya Jaya Jata Prabhu Parisada. Murari Mukunda Jai Premanidhi Mahasaya Jaya Jata Prabhu Parisada. Vandisvakara Paya Ada Mere Kripa Hoy Bhakti Sarasvasada Prabhupada. Vande Swabhakara Paya Ada Mere Kripa Hoy Bhakti Svarsada Prabhupada. Jayo Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Baba Baya Kandana Jayo Jayo Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Baba Baya Kandana Jayo Jayo Hari Kirtana Nartana Vartana Kalimala Kartana Jayo Jayo Hari Kirtana Nartana Vartana Kalimala Kartana Jayo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Nitai Gora. Nitai Gora Premanandi Ki Jai. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Sachi Devi. Great sages and demigods always sing his praise, for by doing so, the fear of repeated birth and death is cut to pieces. All glories to the kirtana of the holy name of Krishna, for when one chants the holy name of Krishna and dances in ecstasy, the filth of this iron age of Kali disappears. Sri Chaitanya delights all eyes with his charming beauty. He's the most dearly beloved Lord of all and the intimate brother of Vishwarupa. He brings the highest auspiciousness to everyone, for he floods the entire universe with the nectar of love of Godhead and thus saves all living beings. All glories to Lakshmi Priya and Vishnu Priya Devi, who are very dear to Sri Nimai Pandita. All glories to their dear family servant Ishana. All glories to Sita Thakurani and Shri Advaitacharya. All glories to Malini Devi and Shivasa Thakur. And all glories to Acharya Chandrasekhara. All glories to Srila Nityananda Prabhu, Gadadhara Pandita, and Haridas Thakur, the Namacharya. All glories to Murari Gupta and all glories to Mukunda Datta. All glories to all the other eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By singing the glories of Srila Prabhupada and all those great souls who are eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even the lowest of men can obtain the highest treasure of divine love. Haribol. Haribol, how are you, Prabhu? Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Yamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan. Shama Kunda Kalindiya Mula Jaya Jaya Mahavan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Bolo Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Keshi Gata Bamsi Bata Dwadasa Kanan. Keshi Gata Bamsi Bata Dwadasa Kanan. Jahasaba Lila Koilo Shinandanandana. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Bola Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Keshi Gata Bamsi Bata Dwadasa Kanan. Keshi Gata Bamsi Bata Dwadasa Kanan. Jahasaba Lila Koilo Shinandanandan. Jahasaba Lila Koilo Shinandanandan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Bola Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan. Bolo Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shinanda Yasoda Jaya Jaya Gopagan. Shinanda Yasoda Jaya Gopagan. Jaya Jaya Gopagan. Shidamadi Jaya Jaya Denu Vatsagan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohai. Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari. Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari. Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abiranagari. Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abiranagari. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan. Bolo Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan. Bolo Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavanamai. Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavanamai. Jaya Krishna Sakabata Dvija Virat. Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakabata Dvijarat. Shri Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan. Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan. Jaya Ramagata Jaya Jaya Rohini Nandan. Rohini Nandan, Jaya Ramagata Jaya Rohini Nandan. Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Bhatu Radhajan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan. Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan. Bhakti Teja Hara Pailo Govinda Charan. Govinda Charan, Govinda Charan. Bolo Govinda Charan, Govinda Charan. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam. Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam. Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manoram. Come on. Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manoram. Jaya Jaya Utpala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sar. Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Parakiya Bhave Jaha Prajate Prachar. Janava Pada Padma Koriya Smaran. Dina Krishna Dase Koe Nama Sankirtan. Nama Sankirtan, Nama Sankirtan. Bola Nama Sankirtan, Nama Sankirtan. Nama Sankirtan, Nama Sankirtan. Bola Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol. Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol. Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Vrindavan. All glories to Radha and Krishna. the divine forest of Vrindavana. All glories to the three presiding deities of Vrindavan, Shri Govinda, Shri Gopinatha, and Shri Madana Mohana. All glories to Shamakunda, Radhakunda, Govardhana Hill, and the Yamuna River Kalindi. All glories to the great forest known as Mahavana, where Krishna and Balarama displayed all of their childhood pastimes. All glories to Keshigata, where Krishna killed the Keshi demon. All glories to the Vamsivata tree, where Krishna attracted all the gopis to come by playing his flute. Glories to all of the 12 forests of Vraja. All these places, the son of Nanda, Shri Krishna performed all of his pastimes. All glories to Krishna's divine father and mother, Nanda and Yasoda. All glories to the cowherd boys, headed by Sri Dama, the older brother Srimati Radharani, and Ananga Manjari. All glories to the cows and the calves of Raja. All glories to Radha's divine father and mother, Rishabhanu, and the beautiful Kirtida. All glories to Purnamasi, the mother of Sandipani Muni, grandmother of Madhu Mangala and Nandi Mukhi, and beloved disciple of Devarsi Narada. All glories to the young cowherd maidens of Raja. All glories to Gopishwara Shiva, who resides in Vrindavana in order to protect the holy Dhamma. All glories to Krishna's funny Brahmana friend, Madhu Mangala. All glories to Ramagata, where Lord Balarama performed his Rasa Leela. All glories to Lord Balarama, the son of Rohini. All glories to all of the residents of Vrindavana. All glories to the wives of the proud Vedic Brahmanas. All glories to the wives of the Kaliya serpent. Through pure devotion they all obtained the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. All glories to the place where the rasa dance of Shri Krishna was performed. All glories to Radha and Shyama. All glories to the divine rasa dance, which is the most beautiful of all Lord Krishna's pastimes. All glories to the mellow of conjugal love, which is the most excellent of all rasas, and is propagated in Vraja by Shri Krishna in the form of the divine Parakya Bhava, Paramore love. Remembering the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda's consort, Shri Janavi Devi, this very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna sings the Sankirtana of the holy name. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Govinda chale ao, Gopala chale ao, Govinda chale ao, Gopala chale ao. Govinda chale ao, Gopala chale ao. Anko me base ho tum, Dada kana me de dada te ho. Dada kana me dada te ho. Anko me base ho tum, Dada kana me dada kana te ho. कुछ ऐसा करो मोहन सांसों में समा जाओ चले आओ गोपाल चले आओ एक शर्त जमाने से प्रभु हमने लगा ली है हमको बुला तो यकादा ही चले आओ या हमको बुला लो तुम यकादा ही चले आओ गोविंद चले आओ गोपाल चले आओ गोविंद चले आओ गोपाल चले आओ गोविंद चले आओ गोपाल चले आओ तेरे दर्शन को मोहन मेरे नैन तरस दे तेरे दर्शन तेरे दर्शन को मोहन मेरे नैन तरस दे हो हे आरज मेरी मोहन अब और न तरसाओ मेरे मुरीदार मदान नंद लाला चले आओ मेरे मुरीदार मदान नंद लाला चले आओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मेरे मुरलीधर मदन नंद लाला चले आओ गोविंद चले आओ, गोपाल चले आओ। हे गोविंद हे गोपाल, राधा माधव मदन गोपाल। हे गोविंद हे गोपाल, राधा माधव मदन गोपाल। मदन गोपाल प्यारो मदन गोपाल, मदन गोपाल प्यारो मदन गोपाल। मदन गोपाल प्यारो मदन गोपाल। मदन गोपाल प्यारो मदन गोपाल। बोलो मदन गोपाल प्यारो मदन गोपाल। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare। Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare। Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama। Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare। Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare। Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare। Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Tagore, Hari Bol, Tagore, Hari Radha Nilamadava ki jai. Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Jagannath Subhadra Baladeva ki jai. Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Gaura ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayed. Nastapresu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktin Pavati Naistaki. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Grantha Raj ki jai. Bolo Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Oh, Kirtanande. Hari Bo. Hari Bo. So tonight we're going to hear something very special. It's only tangentially related to Bhagavad Gita. But there is a relationship. And you'll see as we go along. Because it touches the heart of every human being. No one likes to see other people suffering. Except demons. They like to see other people suffer. They become happy when others suffer. But devotees become unhappy when other people suffer. And when a devotee sees this, in his or her heart, there's a natural desire to help people. So tonight we're going to hear about what's called Near Urban Solution to Homelessness. Obviously, there's a lot of discussion about homelessness in Seattle. It's a very big problem. It's embarrassing because the more there's economic development in Seattle, there are more homeless people. That doesn't make sense, right? That means some people are falling through the cracks and they're not sharing in the opulence or in the economic upsurge of the Seattle area. And people are living on the street. Now, the first time I went to Calcutta, and every time I go to Calcutta, I see people living on the street. And they have whole neighborhoods of shanty houses made of plastic tarps, corrugated metal roofing, clay, gobar, but they're slums, and you can hardly imagine how they live. At the same time, you have these high-rise, expensive apartments in Calcutta that cost crores just to buy a small apartment. And you have the same thing. You don't see so many homeless people in Hyderabad. At least I haven't. I'm sure there are, but I haven't. But in Calcutta, you see a lot. In Delhi, also you see a lot. And I'm sure in Mumbai is a huge amount of homeless people. But you would not expect to see so many homeless people in America. It's such a wealthy country. And Seattle has approximately 16,000 homeless people. Portland has about 10,000 homeless people. San Francisco has about 30,000 homeless people. Los Angeles has 55,000 homeless people. Now, if we go around the United States, it's mostly on the West Coast and Hawaii also. A lot of homeless people in Hawaii. Then when you go on the East Coast, you have New York, Philadelphia, those places. There are a lot of homeless people there. Detroit, Atlanta, and some parts of Texas. In the middle of America, you don't have much homelessness. So, tonight we're going to hear a simple Vedic-style solution to the whole homeless problem, presented by our temple. Yeah. So let's go to the second, skip the second one and go to the third slide. Yes. So this gives you a map. You might not be able to see it so clearly with all the light, but it gives a map with the black dots which show where the main homelessness is. There's, I see here there's some in Chicago, of course, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Nashville, Washington, D.C., of course, Boston, on the East Coast, and on the West Coast you have Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle. So that gives you an idea where there are pockets of a lot of homeless people. So next slide. This is a press release that we're going to send to different news outlets in the Seattle area Monday and Tuesday. The city of Seattle is working hard to combat homelessness. However, the magnitude of the problem is huge. The city's budget for homelessness, $54 million in 2017, and it's going to be more in 2018, funds 28 plus agencies helping the homeless. Northwest Share, this is the nonprofit that manages our school, Synergy School, manages our farm and the cows, and manages our free food truck. You might say, why is there another nonprofit? Well, it protects the temple from high liability activities, right? When you're out feeding people on the street, school, cows and so forth, it's high liability for the temple. So there's another corporation that's different, that has different managers and everything. It's called Northwest Share. It's a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. It was incorporated in 2000. Northwest Share proposes to establish a model pioneer village to solve the problems of homelessness with low-cost, sustainable housing. The solution addresses the long-term needs of the homeless. The advantages of the pioneer village are the following: self-sufficient, off the grid, electricity produced by solar panels, rainwater collection, sustainable gardening for fresh vegetables, greenhouse for food production all year round, etc. There's a whole bunch of self-sustaining techniques for creating a community that can live simply and maintain all their needs. So this is based on ancient Vedic wisdom, simple living, high thinking. Inhabitants of the Pioneer Village will learn life skills to maintain the self-sufficient community and establish the culture of effective communication and the spirit of cooperation. The community will develop cottage industries to generate funds for maintenance. One project will be to save cows destined for the slaughterhouse. These cows will be protected so that their dung and urine can be used for making compost fertilizer for the gardens and eventually for sale to generate funds. Other cottage industries will evolve as the cooperative spirit of the inhabitants increases. The problem of the homeless is they don't have a fixed residence. The Pioneer Village will be a permanent solution for homelessness, With a fixed residence, it will be possible to educate the inhabitants to maintain themselves with farming, animal husbandry, cottage industries, self-healing through regulated healthy diet, herbalism, and lifestyle adjustment, such as early to bed, early rides makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. The pioneer village will also be a sustainable model in the future when the industrial robots will eliminate many jobs of USA workers. It will be possible for jobless workers and their families to live in pioneer villages on very limited income. The pioneer village will also be essential if the transportation and communication systems fail due to war or natural disaster. People will be able to live in sustainable villages until the normal functions are reestablished. Northwest Share proposes a food-first, housing-first solution for the homeless. So, you get the idea that we're going to do something that's unique. It's based on Vedic wisdom. Vedic wisdom is prosperity is created by protecting cows and managing the land in sustainable ways. And obviously, according to the Vedas, all the necessities of human beings are supplied by the Devatas under the direction of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore, if people please Krishna, then the Devas will supply everything we need. And this was happening in the time of Lord Ramachandra. That's 1.7 million years ago. It happened in the time of King Yudhisthira, only 5,000 years ago. And it happened also under other saintly kings like Prahlad Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, and others. Why? Because they were saintly kings. They followed the advice of saintly Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. And the purpose of their managing society was to help all the citizens of the society, including cows and other animals, to go back to Godhead. That's called Aryan society. Aryan was stolen by Hitler, and he created what's called the Aryan nation, and that is a complete travesty of the meaning of the word Aryan. Aryan means that it is a society dedicated to helping all its citizens go back to Godhead by following the Vedic Varnashram system and by practicing the principles of Krishna consciousness. So, the sustainable model is very important because in the future, not only is going to be homeless people because of drug addiction, because of so many mental health problems and so forth, but homelessness is created also by the unnatural increase of land value and house values. One gentleman who comes to every Saturday night to have free prasadam in the U District with our food truck, he was telling me that he bought a house in the U District in 1986 for $86,000. He said, the house is worth $1 million today, and I have to sell it. I can't afford to pay the property taxes and the running expenses of the house. Why? Because he's on a fixed income. Now, many seniors, all of you, when you get older, you'll probably be living on a fixed income once you retire. You have 401k, you have this thing and that thing. If the value of your house goes astronomically high, as it's going now in Seattle, all of a sudden the property taxes go up, and all other facilities, the electricity, the gas, the water, everything, it all goes up. And sometimes people on a fixed income, they can't pay it. So they're forced to sell a house. Now, if their house is mortgaged, sometimes they end up with nothing or very little when they sell the house because it's highly mortgaged. That's when they become homeless. People who have something that's worth a lot of money end up homeless because of the artificial inflation of the land and property values and the taxes that go along with it. Then, in the future, 10 years to 15 years down the line, many people in America will lose their jobs due to robots. It's already started for low-income people. The low-income people who are working in McDonald's and places like that, or working on farms, are going to be completely eliminated. Their jobs are going to be completely eliminated by robots very soon. Then the second wave will be all the IT people. And the people that are on the stock market. And then the taxi drivers are going to be eliminated by self-driving cars. You see? So there's going to be massive unemployment in the future. And you guys are developing it with artificial intelligence and all the different programs. In fact, where is he? He was telling me. Where are you? Yeah. Why don't you say something you told me today? Come up here and say. See, this Pioneer Village, don't think it's only for the homeless.
Hare Krishna. I was telling to Prabhuji that the technology is advancing in such a direction that there are many partnerships in 3GPP and ITU which are working on 5G and advanced technology, where they are working on smart cities. Yeah, so they are working on a project called Smart Cities and Internet of Things. I'm sure many of you are aware of and working on those technologies. And those technologies are basically targeted to modernize all the system and infrastructure which a city has, which could be the garbage collection, the taxis, the smart metering, and the whole bunch of use cases they are working on. So it looks very fancy and very attractive. But then the effects of all this industrialization would be that all the things would be automatically done. And very, so this would impact in, as Prabhuji is saying, that like Internet of Things, everything would be connected to the grid or the cloud, and lot of things would be happening automatically. So they are advancing in that technology.
So what does that mean?
So it means that most of the people who are doing those kind of jobs, they would be losing their jobs. So that is the result, which we are not able to see as IT guys, but Shastrically, we can see that.
Thank you. So the Vedic village, we're calling the Pioneer Village so the Americans and the government can understand, but it's actually the Vedic village, based on self-sufficiency, was the model that maintained India for hundreds and thousands and millions of years. India was made up of thousands of independent, self-sustaining villages before the British built the train system and before Nehru industrialized India. People were living independently. They were producing everything they needed. Now the number of independent villages has severely been curtailed in India. And the smart guys in India are trying to destroy those villages also by connecting them to the internet. And basically all the kids will not want to work on the farms anymore because they can get easier jobs going to school, as many of you have done, and left your parents in India to get old and eventually, lose your ancestral lands. You see. So the Vedic village is a self-sustaining lifestyle. It's healthy, it's economically viable, it is ecologically and environmentally safe. It preserves rivers, forests, farmland, and people live more piously. They follow religious principles much more easily in such situations. And you have dynasties, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 generations living on the same land, being trained to do the same things generation after generation. And the more you do things correctly, the easier it becomes. So, therefore, there is a cooperation. Forget about industrial agriculture, forget about technology. The real technology is communicating with Krishna and the Devatas. That's the real technology. Because the Devatas are controlling the rain, they're controlling the winds, they're controlling the movement of the sun, they're controlling the change of seasons, they're controlling your digestion, they're controlling all these things. So if we develop a close relationship with the Devatas and obviously the Supreme Deva, Krishna, Then they supply everything. In the time of Yudhisthira Maharaj, there was no need to make mines to harvest gold. The Bhumi Devi was throwing the gold up naturally, and the pearls. And all these things were being produced profusely by a higher technology of the Devas. When rain falls at certain astrological times and touches different rocks, they turn into gold and silver and other precious metals and pearls and so forth. This is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. All these things are explained in the Bhagavatam. Of course, if you don't read Bhagavatam, you'll never understand. The higher technology of life is in the Bhagavatam. And therefore, people didn't have to work hard to maintain themselves and their families previously. In the time of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan, when Krishna was in Vrindavan, Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Baba, had 900,000 cows. He did not have to fertilize the land. The cows were so happy. They dripped milk. You didn't have to milk them. They dripped it right on the land. It fertilized the land. And there was tremendous opulence in Vrindavan. Although it was a pristine rural setting, there was no industrialization. Like today, you go to Mathura, they have a military base in Mathura. They divert the water of the Yamuna to Rajasthan or Haryana, and they send the sewage from Delhi to Vrindavan. You see how things have changed. There's a water problem in many parts of India. Farmers commit suicide because they're caught up in the Monsanto cycle, buying GMO seeds, using industrial fertilizers and pesticides, especially in Punjab. Many Punjabi farmers get cancer. Other farmers, because of lack of rain, their farms fail, they commit suicide. Suicide of farmers in India and bankruptcy of farmers in India is a major problem. So, this because the politicians are not devotees, that's why. Most of them are all demons. And they don't understand anything about management. Correct management is done by Jagya. And the best Jagya, the easiest and best Jagya to perform in Kali Yuga is Sankirtan Jagya. They don't understand it. They think it's like fairy tale. But everything they're doing is a fairy tale. See, a bad fairy tale with demons. But if they went back to the Vedic knowledge, that's right there in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and practiced it seriously, then all of India would change. All of America would change. People would become happy. They wouldn't have to work so hard. And they would have plenty of time for spiritual life. Okay, so next slide. The statement of the problem. A large number of homeless are transitional homeless who would like to get work but are unable to due to the lack of lifestyle stability and lack of nutrition. Non-governmental organizations reports show that the number of people who are living in vehicles or cars is also increasing. In the future, we foresee massive unemployment due to robotization and automation of business processes. People living on fixed incomes are also finding it challenging to pay taxes on homes that have seen significant increase in values. While the city government is working hard to provide housing to the affected, not audience, but the affected population, there is a shortage of places where the homeless can eat nutritious meals. We propose a food-first, housing-first approach and deal with other issues like substance abuse and violence later. Here are some recent press snippets on issues impacting the homeless in Seattle. This is an article that was on King County 5 News, and you'll see the internet reference. Once people have their basic stability of a place to sleep and some food to eat, they are much better equipped to start dealing with those secondary problems in their lives, like addiction, like a lack of a job, and other issues that we typically expect them to fix in order to deserve housing. The fact that we're seeing multiple different infections now increasing in the homeless population is an indicator of the sheer increase in the number of homeless people in King County, and the fact that they're in crowded conditions with poor hygiene and sanitation. This was a statement by Dr. Jeff Duchin, a health officer for public health. Okay, the children have to be controlled. Parents have to control their kids. A toddler was found eating off the ground at a Seattle homeless encampment. She saw an approximately, a person who reported it, saw an approximately 2-year-old child sitting on the ground eating stale powdered donuts on the ground and coloring, said Trooper Rick Johnson, a spokesperson for the Washington State Patrol. Tent City 3 shelters up to 100 regular residents. Our ability to cook is limited. We have a coffee pot and a microwave, and hot meals are always welcome. We have no refrigerator, but we have several large coolers. To schedule hot meals, contact Share at TC3. So you see, even the tent cities, which have some equipment, are poorly equipped to properly take care of the people that are living in tents. In South Seattle, the number of homeless students tripled since 2010. Students experiencing homelessness need a place that is stable, a place where they are supported and nurtured. For some, that place is a school. So you'll see a lot of homeless people in libraries during the day and other public places that are open. And, of course, schools are the best place for homeless kids because they get 3 meals and some education. So homelessness is not only drug addicts. You have school kids. I mean, when I was going to college, for some period of time, I was homeless also in Paris. Somehow I survived. So we meet, when we go out with our food truck every Saturday night, we meet many Indian students in the UW. And they're very happy to get hot, well-prepared prasadam with fresh rotis. And many of them are coming. So next slide. This is our poster, Feeding People with Respect, Free Food, Entertainment, Fun, organized by Northwest Share. Westlake Park, Seattle, Saturday, June 23rd, that's next Saturday, from 12 to 5. Festival of Compassion for Homeless and Everyone. Okay, please, the parents have to control their kids. Northwest Share aims to give a permanent solution to the homeless problem. Northwest Share is conducting the first Festival of Compassion at Westlake Park in downtown Seattle on June 23rd from noon to 5 p.m. The motto of Northwest Share is creating prosperity by sharing. In times of emergency, Americans come together as one nation to work cooperatively and help relieve the miseries of those that are less fortunate. Well, we've seen that when there's been flooding, when there have been tornadoes, when there have been other natural catastrophes, when there are hurricanes, like Hurricane Katrina and so forth. Most Americans will come together and help those who are less fortunate. Next. This is a statement of the City of Seattle is working hard to solve homelessness. Northwest Share has a comprehensive plan and volunteer base to help the city succeed. In 2017, the City of Seattle spent $54 million for homeless programs, yet the homeless have increased. So that's an anomaly. They're spending so much money and homelessness increases. And these are different articles on the, you can't read them very well, but they're on the internet about Seattle's efforts to help the homeless. Next. Seattle and King County every year spend approximately $195,588,532. They get some funding from the federal government. They get state funding and county funding. And in this way, half of that money goes to permanent housing, in other words, subsidized housing for less fortunate people. And then that's $98 million. And then $31 million goes to emergency shelters. When there's freezing cold out, they will pay rent to schools and other facilities to house the homeless temporarily. And then there's transitional housing and so forth. So they're spending a huge amount of money on the homeless and the less fortunate. Next. These are some of the insufficient efforts that are taking place in Seattle right now. You have two methods to try and alleviate a little bit the homelessness. One is tiny houses. So there's only one tiny house project in Seattle. It's called Licton Springs. And they're very, very tiny houses. They're like less than 100 square feet, hardly big enough for one person. And they're transitional shelters. They're not permanent housing. There's no cooking, there's very little heating. They have some kind of a makeshift kitchen. And then the second thing is the tent city. The tent cities can never stay in one place. They have to move always. They have more equipment, but still it's insufficient to really meet the needs of the homeless. But at least the homeless people have a place to stay. So those two attempts to alleviate the homeless are not very successful. Then you have some private non-government agencies. Mary's Place in Seattle, which was funded partially by Amazon, and you have Union Gospel Mission in the Pioneer Place, funded somewhat by government and also by private donations. It's a Christian organization, but they can't house 16,000 people. At the most, they house a few hundred people. Right? So Licton Springs in Seattle is too crowded and does not have self-reliant techniques for living sustainably. It's just temporary, transitional, little tiny houses. Then in San Francisco, or sometimes people call it San Francisco, in Contra Costa County in the San Francisco area, the federal government has allocated $750,000 to pay for 50 stackable micro units of supportive housing. $750,000 for 50 stackable micro unit. They're talking about a cargo container. You know, the ones, you know, they have like, you know, China written on them or Hangwan, or whatever. These are metal containers. You can put one on top of the other, and then they'll build some kind of staircase. It's not very nice living condition. And only 50 of them, they're spending $750,000. Right? And then there's a plan to build 1,000 tiny homes or their close cousins, stackable modular houses. Each one less than 200 square feet of living space. And they're being planned. They don't have them yet. They're being planned for San Francisco, San Jose, Richmond, Berkeley, Oakland, and Santa Rosa. You see, all of this is in the beginning stage. And the facilities they're going to provide are not self-sustaining. It's going to require a lot of money to maintain them. And the initial investment is a lot. Okay, now Northwest Share, next one. No. Yes, okay. Northwest Share proposal. The proposal is to revive the spirit of pioneers living on the West Coast. So, America was started by pioneers. The farmland that we have in Redmond was part of a 160-acre homestead. If you lived in, let's say, New York or Virginia in the 1880s, the government started a program that if you were willing to go across the entire United States. By then, they were just in the beginning of the train going transcontinental. Most people had to get into a wagon with a horse and go across the Rocky Mountains and the Mississippi River and all that to get to the West, to California or Oregon or Washington. If you made it alive, the government gave you 160 acres of land free with water rights and mineral rights. So many places like that, like Perigo Park in Redmond and many other places in the Seattle area, were old homesteads from the 1880s that eventually broke apart. Just like in India, let's say you have a grand ancestor who had 500 or 5,000 bighas of land, right? But he had 10 sons. So when he dies, he divided the 5,000 into 10 parts. Then when the sons died, they divided that. And then the next generation, they divided it. And pretty soon, there's nothing. So the same thing happened here. Except for those families, usually religious families, they instead of diminishing, they stayed together, they didn't split apart, and they kept their asset. So there are some farms in America now, they have 1,000 acres, 15,000 acres, 20,000, owned by one family that stayed together generation after generation. They didn't split apart. So we want to revive the spirit of the pioneers who came here, started with nothing, had to cut down trees to level the land, and had to start with seeds that they brought from the East Coast. That there was no, Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that. There was no Safeway. They had to start with whatever they could bring in their wagon, and build these farms and build a life and build houses and grow crops and so forth. These were pioneers. Secondly, train homeless to live self-sustaining lifestyle in the pioneer village with sustenance farming, animal husbandry, healthy lifestyle with herbalism. Principles of vegetarianism, ahimsa meat. After the animal dies naturally, we will supply the meat to the meat eaters. There's an entire lecture by Prabhupada where he explains this. We're not against meat eating. We're against unnecessary violence, especially to cows. But cows will die naturally. Sheep will die naturally. And we can supply the meat to the meat eaters. We're not going to eat it, but we can supply it to the meat eaters. It's not sinful if a cow dies naturally, and the cow has its skin that can be used, its bones can be used, so many things can be used in the cow. So we protect them, we raise them, we keep them healthy. Nowadays, my daughter has learned how to be a veterinarian. We don't have to call the veterinarian anymore. Every time we call a veterinarian, it costs $500, and they prescribed always antibiotics. Now my daughter is able to heal the cows, the mastitis and other things, simply with clay, with essential oils and Ayurvedic herbs. And we're going to demonstrate this at the Ananda Mela Festival. Improve emotional well-being and gain self-confidence. Live simply and close to nature, and educate people in self-sufficiency and healthy lifestyle. So here you see some pictures, if you can see it clearly. There was a pioneer village from the 19th century, people cooperating with each other, living simply. And then there's parents teaching their kids how to garden. And there's a little child hugging a cow. So if you hug our cows, you will heal your mental problems. Cows are very, very emotionally stabilizing. The pioneer village advantages: living in harmony with nature and its natural cycles, like the carbon cycle, etc. I'll explain that in a minute. Self-sufficient, now and in the future. Off the grid with solar panels and low electricity use. All facilities for heating and cooking with wood stoves, rainwater harvesting, and gray water system. Promotes motivation to work and cooperate with others. Simple living, high thinking. Solves unemployment issue and reduces dependence on social services. more time to learn techniques for self-sufficiency, learn farming skills, hugelkultur, composting, cow care, sprouting, etc., and cooking skills. Healthy plant-based diet with fresh vegetables and whole grains. Key aspects of the Pioneer Village: voluntary participation in the project. These are not concentration camps, right? People do it voluntarily. Sustainable lifestyles and sustainable agriculture. Farmland, partially forested, close to a stream. Composting toilets, actually they're called dry toilets, using Northwest Red cedarwood tree sawdust. So you can visit my daughter's toilet. It's a very interesting thing to see. Usually people don't talk about their toilet, right? But the dry toilet is very interesting. You don't need any plumbing, you don't need any water. You poop and urine in it, and then you put on this sawdust from the evergreen tree, and it neutralizes the smell right away and begins the composting process and breaking down all the toxic bacteria. And then you put the poop and the urine into a composting pile, and a year and a half later it becomes humanure. You can use it like compost. In fact, you can see we have one garden area. We're not growing vegetables on it, but we're growing flowers and herbs on it. And you can see it at the farm. It's with humanure. So human manure is not something you want to throw away. It's something that's usable. There are people that have been composting their manure for 30 years, and they have these fantastic gardens. You can go on the internet and type in humanure, and you'll see that there's whole communities composting their poop and urine. Now, of course, you can compost cow dung and urine. That's even better, right? And we're doing that on a large scale at the farm also. Wood stoves, solar panels, and inverters. Rescue cows from slaughterhouses to supply cow dung for ideal compost. Dry cow dung as a quick renewable resource for energy and soil amendment. Rainwater harvesting, runoff water salvaging techniques, drip irrigation, and olas. Olas is a method used in Africa for conserving water in a garden. It's a big clay pot. You put it in the middle of your garden or your growing box or whatever, and you fill it full of water on a regular basis, like once a week or once every 2 weeks, and it slowly distributes the water through the porous clay. And the plants that grow in the box or in that area, their roots go toward the big pot. And that way, in Africa, where they have water problems also, it's a way of conserving the water and growing your plants with minimal watering. Wood stoves, sauna bathhouses with water for washing and drying clothes, bathing, and sauna for health. Participants may be able to earn a living by cottage industries. Self-governed communities with Northwest share oversight, expertise, and support. Next. The next shows the suggested roles and responsibilities of the state, county, or city, and of Northwest Share. The state, county, or city will fund, have oversight and governance, and own the land. We're not asking to own anything. We're just asking to make one pilot project to show that it's a viable model of this one small village, and I'll show you in a second. And then to help build many of them and establish all the ancient Vedic technologies. This includes making panchagavya as fertilizer and pest repellent. It includes composting, cow dung, worm bins, all these things to enrich the soil. Once you have rich soil, you don't need fertilizer, you don't need pesticides, you don't need so many things, because nature does everything for you. So Northwest Share will provide know-how and pilot oversight, teach self-organization, vetting inhabitants, that's very important, to vet the people who will live, especially in the pilot village, establishing principles of governance, training for sustainable and ethical lifestyle, work with Habitat for Humanity. If they will cooperate with us, then we'll have a workforce for constructing with very low expenses. Obtain discounts from home improvement stores use 100 plus strong volunteer base to support, so our volunteers. Measure savings by moving people off the streets into communities. Northwest share expertise and know-how in composting toilet, human manure garden, hugelkultur for mound growing, composting boxes using cow dung and biomass, insect repellents from neem, cow urine, and special plants, working with carbon and other natural cycles for sustainability, no dig, no plow growing, water harvesting techniques, worm casting bins for additional compost. Our approach, next. Our approach is changing lives through love and compassion. Ahimsa, nonviolent life, self-respect and mutual respect. The body is simply a vehicle for the soul. So when we see the soul and not the body, then, and its relationship to Krishna or God, then there's self-respect and mutual respect. Self-sustaining, self-healing, regulated diet, herbalism, lifestyle adjustment, which means being regulated in your eating and sleeping and all the bodily functions. Focusing on strengths and working with weaknesses. Engagement of mind, education, skill building, and body, food, shelter, clothing, natural medicine. Instill confidence through mentorship. Individualized training according to natural tendencies. Volunteers needed for sharing their knowledge and work. Doctors, music, teachers, arts, spiritual counselors. Promoting stable families and good civic values. Cooperative living model. Regulated lifestyle, early rising, regulated eating, meditation, prayers, learning, and sharing. Near-term proposal, next. We propose building 8 10 by 20 houses and 8 composting toilet rooms. A woman's common bathhouse with sauna, clothes washing and drying facilities. A storage locker room for storage of extra belongings of the residents. A heated greenhouse and firewood storage house, and a men's common bathhouse, sauna, clothes washing and drying area. And all these are heated by wood stoves, the houses and these 4 additional buildings for bathing, drying, washing and drying clothes, etc. There's also an optional biodigester to generate extra electricity. There's a farm area with a cow shed, and there'll be gardens, and there'll be area for the cows to pasture. So that is the proposed layout for the Pioneer Village. Next, we'll build the houses with prefabricated components, and they'll have slanted roofs, so it's much easier to build them, less expensive. Next, the Pioneer Village houses components. You have the composting toilet, you have the slanted roof house, you have wood stoves, you have solar panels, you have a hand washer and wringer or dryer, and then you dry the clothes in the wintertime in the bathhouse or in the summertime outside. And then there's one completed house you see at the bottom right side. Okay, and now the construction and cost for a Pioneer Village module. The module is 8 houses for 16 people. It will cost $150,000. We project that, and then we have the full breakdown. So if you build one module, it's for 16 people. If you build 10, it's for 160 people. If you build 100, it's for 1,600 people. If you build 1,000, you can house 16,000 people. That's the total population of homeless people in Seattle right now. And the total cost for 16,000 people would be $150 million. For 1,000 people, and then we detail how much everything costs. Okay, and the last one is we compare the cost of a Northwest Share Pioneer Village to the Contra Costa 50 urban tiny house. That is a real project going on now. That costs $750,000 to house, in 50 houses, I think they might house like 20, 30 people. and it's going to cost $15,000 a person. In the Vedic village, 8 houses housing 16 people costs $9,375. So it's approximately $6,000 less than a comparable actual project in the Bay Area. However, there will be there'll be significant reduced social service costs for program participants. We forecast only $16,000 of social services from the city or state, whereas in San Francisco, it costs $40,000 a year in social services and other freebies offered to homeless people. So, and the people in the Vedic village are self-employed on the farm, but the people living in this subsidized program have periodic unemployment or complete unemployment. So we see there are a lot of advantages to the Vedic village. This is what we're going to present next week at the at Westlake Park. Hopefully, we're going to have some politicians that are going to speak, and we'll have the newspapers there noting that there's a wonderful plan to solve homelessness in Seattle. Hare Krishna. So tonight's sponsors are Siddheswar Chidre for their son's birthday. Siddheswar Chidre and family for their son's birthday. Manoj Raheja Prabhu has donated $500 for next week's Festival of Compassion. And an anonymous donor has donated $1,008 tonight. Upcoming events, we have the Festival of Compassion, Saturday, 23rd June, for homeless and everyone. And the same day, next Saturday, 23rd of June, is Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi. So the best way to control your hunger is to distribute prasadam. So come and help us. We will probably be feeding 500, 600, maybe more people next Saturday. Then on next Sunday, we have the annual boat festival in the parking lot, where Radha and Krishna will be in a pool, and we'll have kirtan and enjoy seeing them in their boat. And next Sunday is also the Chida Dahi festival. This is a festival Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda started, where they distributed flat rice and sweets to thousands of people. July 28th and 29th is our annual Ananda Mela festival. We need volunteers. July 4th is Vedic Cultural Center's 10th anniversary. This next week, on the 21st of July, is International Yoga Day. We're going to celebrate it with a special concert by Ganesh Sir, who is a fantastic violin player, and his orchestra. They're going to be here this Thursday night, June 21st, and he's going to present what's called Swara Yoga, musical yoga. So it's going to be very interesting. You're all invited on the occasion of International Yoga Day with Ganesh Sir. And also this next week, June 18th and 19th, I guess Monday and Tuesday, we have His Grace Kanai Tagore Prabhu, who's visiting here. He's going to speak. Also tonight we want to thank Bhakta Vasan, who's donated $100 for our cows. Sanskriti, on the occasion of her 12th birthday, which is today, she's donating $110. And we have another birthday too. We'll celebrate them after the Aarti. Thank you very much. And we also have entertainment tonight. 2 Bharatnatyam dances after the Aarti. Hare Krishna. Okay, tell them to do very quickly. Okay. Jayo Jaya Gora Chande Arati Ke Soba. Janavi Tatavane Shagamana Lobada Jayo Jaya Gon Chande Arati Ke Soba. Janavi Tatavane Shagamana Loba Ibadaki Nikaya Chan Anmingadadara Nikadea Drekashini Vasachachadarat Jayo Jaya Gora Chande Arati Ke Soba. Janavi Tatavane Shagamana Lobada Jayo Jaya Gora Chande Arati Ke Soba. Janavi Tatavane Shagamana Loba Gorange Arati Soba Jagajana Mana Loba Gorange Arati Soba Jagajana Mana Loba Jagajana Mana Loba Jagajana Mana Loba Kibaboshi Na Chingora Chan Rata Singasane Arati Karina Brahma Adi Deva Jane Arati Karina Brahma Jayo Jaya Mukunda Vasu Gosahari Gaya Sanjay Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Arti Soba Bolo Jaya Gangavane Jagamara Loba Shankar Bhaje Ganga Bhaje Bhaje Kanakala Madhurani Ganga Bhaje Paramara Shala Shankar Bhaje Ganga Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Ganga Bhaje Ganga Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Shankar Bhaje Ganga Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gora, Hari Bol, Nita Gora, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gora, Nita Gora, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora, Hari Bol, Nita Gora, Hari Bol, Nita Gora. Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Utvala Dala Nite Mana Mala Koritala Mala Gala Gora Rasa Pada Bhakta Vinoda Denge Gora Rasa Pada Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Adasine Soba Bolo Jana Dika Kavane Chagamana Loba Jan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Haribol Jai Gaur Premanandi ki jai Jai Madhav Madana Murari Radhe Jai 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 Madhav Madana Murari Radhe Jai Shama Shama Jai Radha Madana Murari Radhe Jai Shama Shama Jai Madhava Madana Murari Radhe Sham Shama Sham Jai 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 Keshava Kalivala Hare Radhe Sham Sham Murari Radhe Shyam Shama Shyam Jaya Madhava Madana Murari Radhe Shyam Shama Shyam Jaya Shyam Shama Shyam Jaya Jaya Radhe Shyam Shama Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam Sham Sham Jaya Radhe Madhava Madana Murari Radhe Shyam Sham Sham Jaya Madhava Madana Murari Radhe Shyam Sham Sham Jaya Keshava Kalimala Radhe Radhe Shyam Sham Sham Jaya Keshava Kalimala Radhe Radhe Shyam Sham Sham Jaya 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 Radhe Shyam Sham Sham Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namaste Narasimhaya Lada Lada Lade Hiranyakashipu Vashar Shilakam Kanakataye Pahil Singha, Hidayen Singha Narasina Majim Saranam Prabhare Avaskara Kamala Bare Naka Adhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubinga Ektabadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadesa Hare Jaya Jagadesa Hare Jaya Jagadesa Hare Namakaya Kamala Hare Naga Adhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubinga Ektabadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Narasingha Jaya Jaya Narasingha Jaya Jaya Narasingha Jaya Jaya Narasingha Jaya Haribo, 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 Nitya Gaura Haribo. Vishnupad Paramansa Pararajika Charasta Tarasatana Shri Shishimaris Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Chikahosha Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapura Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai Zamana Maya Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the Samal devotees, all glories to the Samal devotees, all glories to Samal devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vestaya Bhuti Smrita Bhakti Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru. So we have a quick few birthdays. Where's your son? Keshav is here. And who else? Sanskriti. And Tripati. What's her name? Who's the third person?
We called before and she didn't here.
Okay, we have Siddheshwar Chidre, Sanskriti Devi Dasi, and also Keshav Prabhu. Haribo. How old are you, Keshav? 14. Wow. And Sanskriti, how old are you? 12. Congratulations. And is Siddheshwar Chidre here? Siddheshwar? Okay. So we're a little rushed tonight, so we're going to rush through a Hare Krishna to you. First of all, let's have a big 3 Hari Bols for Keshava and Sanskriti and Siddheshwar. 1, 2, 3. Hare Bol! Hare Bol! Hare Bol! May you always be protected by Radha and Krishna, blessed with intelligence to make the right decisions in life. And when in doubt, ask your parents or ask spiritual persons to give you good advice so you don't make any fundamental mistakes by which you end up smoking marijuana and being a dopehead. Okay, so Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna dear Keshava, Sanskriti and Siddheshwar, Hare Krishna to you. Haribol. Haribol. And we have a present for you tonight. If Siddheshwar is here, is he here? And Keshav and Sanskriti. So now we want to welcome tonight Sri Jaya Bhaskar from Hyderabad. He's going to do a solo performance on the South Indian Mridangam. Haribol. He's going to make the Mridangam sing for us tonight. Yes, Haribol. So we're going to invite Siddheshwar. You're here. Okay, very good. First of all, we'll cut the cake.
Stage middle lo na itవైపు నేను ఇష్టం అది లాగుదామా ఆ తొన్నారుగా ఇది లాగుదాం తీద్దాం ఎన్ని తీయాలి ప్రసాద్ గారు on top of the